Hey ho everyone, Ginger Gargoyle here with a how-to video. Well, kind of. It's a prep video is what it is. And you might remember that I just got some Spectrum Noir pens. You guys see a little bit better. Oh, sorry for the glare. The Spectrum Noir pens. And I got them in the pink set. Come on, focus. In the pink set. Alright, and the cool grays, okay, they're also known as ice grays, but we'll get into that here in a second, alright, and then this one is the purple set, and I have not used the purple set yet. Now, the nice thing about these is that they just slide out. You just unhook one end and this thing slides out, and then you've got your pens in your little container there, and you can take them out and put them back, and that way you're not mixing them up, which I tend to do. Except this one, for some reason, they decided to put a staple in the bottom, and it does not have a tab on the top, which means that I'm going to have to take this way and take them out, which means I'm going to be battling with that. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is now I do not color with Copic markers, simply because Copic markers are very expensive. They're anywhere between $6 to $8 a piece, and these, when I buy them at regular price in the sets like this, are like $2 a piece. Your Sharpies you can get, I believe, in the big massive packs for $1 a piece or something like that. So you do have options. Alright, and then I purchased last year, even though I have the Spectrum Noir's version, I picked up the Zero blending marker from Copic, because she had them on sale, and it was like $4, or I want to say it was a little more than $4, but it was pretty inexpensive to get it, and I did not want to pass it up, because she was saying that this was the best pusher marker of any that she knew, and we'll get into that here in a moment as well. I have not really used that for that purpose very much. You can see there's a little bit of purple on there. I used it with the Sharpie marker when I made a mistake to take it off, and that worked fine, but you can see I don't have any on my brush nib. And yeah, we'll get into the difference in the nibs as well. In fact, why don't I pull this out? Okay, so this is the brush nib of a Spectrum Noir pen, and this is the brush nib of a Copic. You can see there's a size difference. Alright, I happen to like the size. I think it's easier to control, but this size is nice because it's longer. I can actually see what the head will do. That is one thing that I've noticed. And then on the other end, you have this chisel versus this chisel. Okay, they both have a chisel end. This one is thinner, this one is thicker. Alright, I would prefer a thinner one for when I'm covering areas, because then I have a little more control. But this one is nice if I want to cover it quick and fast and just get it over with. Both sets are very juicy. Both sets need to be stored horizontally. You don't want to store them vertically, because then all the ink will run to one end. Okay, that's just basic 101. Now, I do not know if Copic has this or not, but Spectrum Noir has these color charts, and you can see I'm doing some of the color charts. And this is supplied by Spectrum Noir. They have two different kinds, or three different kinds. First they have the rectangular grid, which is actually the older grid, and then they have a hexagonal one, and I think I may have shown you guys the hexagonal one before. But I want to show you how these work. Okay? Now what I did was I printed it up on the two types of paper I am more than likely to use them with. One is my husband's printer paper. It's kind of a heavy brochure, or not a heavy, a light brochure type. It's got a little bit of a almost plasticine feel to it. And then my heavy cardstock from my from Hobby Lobby. Okay, you can see that I had made a boo-boo. It had accidentally cut off that first row, so I reprinted it again on the other side. All right, and we'll get into the bleeding too. So what you do is you take your pens, all right, and I like to use the side with the little gray line. The gray line tells you that that's the nib side, all right, and this is PL2. PL means purple. So I need to find my purples on this list. Okay. Sometimes this can take a long time. Sometimes it doesn't take much time at all. It's my dark red, my florals. I thought I already had a purple. My iced blues. There's my purple. Okay. PL. All right. And remember, this was PL2. Now, what I like to do, make sure that I got you guys in screen here. What I like to do is doing the outlines of where I'm going to color. And don't be afraid to move your paper so that it's more comfortable for you. My problem is I am angling over the top of my iPad. So it's a little uncomfortable for me. And you'll notice that it goes on dark. That's okay. It will lighten up once the alcohol starts to wick away. Okay. And I see I missed this corner. Okay. And then we do the same thing on this one. As long as I have the cap off, I might as well use it. Okay. Let's do my PL2. All right. Where'd I put my lid? I just had my lid. Where'd I put it? Up there it is, by my toes. Okay. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to do that for each and every color. And I'm not going to skip ahead for you guys. So, or actually, I might skip ahead a little bit here. All right. So, I have a boo-boo that I made with my red. And the reds are notorious for leaking through. I just don't remember which page I did it on. Which one was it? Maybe it's this one. I went over the line pretty... Here it is, right here. This pink right here. You can see I went over the line. If you do that, don't panic. Take your pen. Okay? One way or the other. Okay? You can see the Copics have a dark gray. That's the brush nib. And you don't want to color it. You want to dot it. Okay? And dotting it pushes it through. But first I need some cheap paper. And I mean cheap, like printer paper. Like the stuff that you get, stuff like they use for invoices. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I have you in my lap. So that's why you're kind of teetery. Or packing material. Okay? Excuse me. Don't mean to make all that noise. Okay, I'm just going to use a little piece of this packing material. And you actually want to place that, because you can see there's a little bit of mush on there. You want to place that underneath your paper where you're making the correction. Because what you're actually doing is you want to push this ink through, and it will be absorbed by the cheaper ink or cheaper paper underneath. Didn't I just say not to do that? Okay, you want to push it through. All right. And this is why you have to be careful when you're using these pens in your coloring, because you can see that the little bit of that ink actually came through. I'm just cleaning off my nib because it does pick up a little bit of the color. Okay, we'll go back and we'll check it out. And you can see that it did push that through just a little bit. Reds are notorious for bleeding, so you want to go through, and you may have to do this a couple of times with the red, but you want to make sure you have an absorbent paper underneath. Don't use a paper towel, because a paper towel will dry out your marker, but just a cheap piece of paper that's semi-absorbent. And you can see that did a fairly good job at erasing that. All right, but you don't rub it like an eraser, you just dab it. If you dab it, you can control it a little bit better. With reds, I've seen them do it with reds. It doesn't take out the color completely. Reds are a very hard color to make a correction with. So you gotta kind of play it by ear. You really do. Okay, guys, so that's it. If you can find a color chart, like I said, I don't know if they make these for Copics. I just know that they make these for Spectrum Noirs. This is nice because it has something I can refer to. I can see how the pen is going to look. I can look to see what will blend good together. The nice thing about these packs is they actually give you 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So these 3 work good together as a blend, and these 3 work good together as a blend. Okay, same with the grays. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. These 3 work good together as a blend, and these 3 work good together as a blend. And the same thing with the purples. Okay, then they also have it in green, in yellows, in blues, and let's see, they do have a separate one for reds. They have the neutrals. The neutrals comes with your true black and your blender, as well as a bunch of different browns. Then they have 24 packs. They have 4 basic 24 packs. They have the pales, the brights, the lights, and the darks. Okay. Then last year, I want to say it was last year was the first time I saw it, they came out with some new shades of the naturals and the florals, I think they called it. Okay. Those ones, I haven't checked yet if those colors are in these charts or not. But this chart right here with all these basic 6-packs and the 24 packs, this chart is completed. Okay, so yeah, and I like Spectrum Noirs. I know a lot of people complain about them. I like them a lot. They're less expensive, and I think they're just fine. The only thing I don't like is the ends do not match the colors. Okay. Where was it? The pale pinks. The pale pinks, alright. This one actually has a purple top to it. And it's like, wait, what? So, I don't know. I'll have to figure something out for that. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.